Hey and welcome to Mini Gokin Reviews. Today we'll be looking at the Figma Shiroko from Blue Archive. Blue Archive, despite seeming like a Japanese or a Chinese game, is a Korean game, but it's also a very American game. So why does everyone have a gun? I don't think they ever explain it. This is just a world where everyone is a school shooter. And I don't think that's a problem. Not explaining your setting is sometimes better. Shiroko is not just a school shooter, but also a terrorist. Well, no, but also yes. Speaking of which, they're making a Figma of another version of Shiroko, link in the description. But I don't know, I feel like that's a version I'd want more. Regardless, this looks alright. There is a bit of Figma-iness to it that makes it less sharp than I'd like, but it's definitely not bad. The painting is standard Figma stuff, so not bad at all. This design, however, see, she's number 2 because she's shit. Just kidding, like everything else we just talked about, it's fine. She's definitely a wolf girl schoolgirl with a gun. This design does feel iconic, but I wonder if that's because of Blue Archive just shoving it down our collective throats. Her halo is I think the most basic looking, it's just a crosshair, although arguably Yuka has an even simpler shaped one. And it's not like I know what all the halos look like, so get your pitchforks down, I'm just a casual enjoyer. I only really stuck around for Kana. Speaking of things that are casually enjoyable, Articulation is also alright. This is an older Figma, so they still weren't actually trying with the articulation yet. Having a plastic skirt does limit the articulation, but I never ever want to see Figmas with mixed cloth and plastic clothes ever again. Capes are fine though. So this figure is getting pretty loose with use. Anyway. She comes with a respectable amount of accessories. Some people want her to come with a bike, but that's what the next version is going to be about. So the halo isn't an accessory, she's dead without it. Aside from the normal expression, you get 2 additional faces, both criminal. One an entirely different head. The actual context for this is that for some reason or another, the Abydos girls need to rob a bank. So they mask up, all taking up code names corresponding to the respective numbers on their masks, aside from Hifumi, who gets a paper bag and the codename Faust. Which is a pretty clear reference to Dark Faust from Ultraman Nexus. Okay, I'm sorry for alluding to Ultraman. Anyway, the mask is funny. You do have to ask what the point of wearing a mask is if you can see her halo. Regardless, I don't have the blushing face with closed eyes, because I guess fuck you if you don't buy this stuff from the Good Smell online store. It's an extra fuck you because this figure has such limited face options already. The fact that there's more out there is just insulting. Hands are hands, you know this. Like every high school girl should be, she's armed with an assault rifle, specifically a SIG SG-550. How do I know that? Well, I looked it up. This gun's construction is very detailed. With this assembly, you can see Figma's little armory chops in action. Except unlike actual little armory kits, this feels like a figure. Speaking of looking up, of course you can't attack military bases without a hear-and-shot missile drone. She has a bag. Wow, that must be a lot to take in. Maybe you should sit down. These sitting parts, as sitting sometimes is, are a pain in the ass. Lastly, by all means leastly, you get a stand. Whoop-de-doo. Guts and guts. Over Future Gokin here, and it's time for Gokin Impressions. Also, psych. I won't stop alluding to Ultraman, because today we're looking at the Flame Toys Karakuri Ultraman. Ultraman is my tokusatsu of choice, not Kamen Rider, not Godzilla, and not Super Sentai, but Ultraman. Why? Well, giant men in spandex fighting fucking aliens, fighting fucking monsters is so fucking cool. And I just love that it's one of like 2 shows that still uses practical destruction effects. Eiichi Shimizu and Tomohiro Shimaguchi probably agree with that, as they made the Ultraman manga in 2011, which is full of Ultraman reference goodness. Unfortunately, the story sucks ass, and I can't be bothered to read more of it, which is a shame because the designs look really great. Unlike the spandex Ultramans of old, this is an Ultraman suit, kinda like an Iron Man suit, although this is a much more sleek design than the most popular Iron Man design, making it a design that's very mechanical. The design is also a lot more angular and sharp, yet it's still unmistakably Ultraman, which is the charm of the Ultraman design by Eiichi Shimizu and Tomohiro Shimaguchi. Now this wasn't actually designed by them. This is a redesign by Nin, making it even more sharp and mechanical, and giving it some additional shifting armor gimmicks, kinda like Phi's Axle, that reveal some really nice clear green parts, with even more excessive mechanical detailing. It is a fantastic redesign. What elevates this figure even further is that it feels great to handle, but more on that in a bit. So my immediate impressions are that this feels great and looks great, so what could possibly be wrong with it? Well, there is a big problem. Here are the 2 sizes you'd want this to be in, and here's how big it is. Furthermore, fisting is $300, and so is this. That's way too much for something like this, no matter how cool it is. That being said, it is really cool. So is the articulation, which again feels great, but how about range? Range is also great. However, the thigh joint is a bit strangely placed, to make the figure more seamless. Anyway, you get a variety of hands, very handy. Spacium Blades, a manga Ultraman classic. There's not much to say about them aside from they look awesome, and I'm glad they didn't go with their first idea. Ugh. A Spacium Beam that honestly looks kinda pathetic. An Ultra Slash weapon, which is excessive but pretty cool. I like the idea of using the Ultra Slash as a buzzsaw instead of just chucking it. A Catch Rings weapon, which at least that's what I assume it is, since it vaguely reminds me of the triple pistol from Gantz, which much like Catch Rings is also for capturing things. I'm now starting to notice that this doesn't have a consistent shade of green and blue, which is a bit fucking weird in my opinion, but doesn't take away from what is otherwise a great design. What also doesn't take away from the design are the LEDs, except when they're off. Guts and guts. Overall, don't buy this, not for that price. However, you should get figures from Gundamit, and don't forget to use my code in the support your favorite reviewer thing. Those are my Gokin impressions, make of it what you will. Overall, this is alright, so I can definitely recommend it if you like how it looks and don't mind the price. That's about it, thanks to the patrons, although amongst them, there's just one that should have considered going back to school. Of course, thank you to Robouken for the recording contributions, and I'll see y'all next time.